Hey, welcome to today's Wednesday Live. My name is Shishika Ma'at. I am your host and the founder of Jama Wealth Financial. I work with women in empowering them to take control of their money so that they can create more freedom in their life. If you were with me for the past two Wednesdays, we talked a lot about getting clarity for your money and how you can be more in alignment with how you're working towards your individual goals. Again, getting clarity, making sure you have that vision for your future. But today, we're going to be talking more about stepping into that wealthy version of you. I like to talk about this specifically because a lot of times we have goals that we want to achieve financial freedom, we want to start investing, we want to start doing all these things. But if you are not tapped into one, that vision, but then looking at how that wealthy version of you operates on a day to day, it's going to be challenging to try to make sure that what you're doing right now is matching with that future version of you. So I'm going to break down in today's video, and this is recorded because I am not able to make 3 o'clock call, but I still wanted to put this out so that you can have this information. So if you're watching on YouTube, remember to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so that you can get notified when I post new videos like this. All right, so this topic came up. I was driving with my daughter, and we were driving her back to school from fall break. And we were talking about trusts and wills, more specifically because I just came back from a conference last week, the Thrive 360 ATO conference. And one of the sessions that I did attend was creating a trust. And so she naturally started asking questions about, like, okay, yeah, I know how to manage my money a little bit, but like, what's like something good that you can give me to like help me know all the different steps about managing money? And so normally what I tell most people, the two books that I always go to when I'm talking about what helped me shift into this journey was number one, A Simple Path to Wealth by J.L. Collins. Very easy to read, a short book, all about how you can actually set yourself up for investing. That was one of the cornerstone books for me that I find was very helpful on the journey. And then the second book was The Millionaire Next Door. And of course, I just forgot the author's name was in my mind and then it just kind of went. But The Millionaire Next Door was the other book, but it shifted the way that you think about wealth and what actual millionaires. So those are the two books that I always recommend. And so in answering her question, what I immediately boiled down to was very simple concept of when it comes to managing your money, the main thing is essentially living below your means. So if you bring in $15,000 a month, the goal is not to spend 16,000 a month. The goal is to spend maybe 10,000 a month, and then the 5,000 is put towards your individual goals, right? The idea is that when you're deciding, okay, how much do I put towards investing and saving? And literally what I told her was, you have to get clear on what is the future wealthy version of you. Is that future wealthy version of you someone who wants to be retired by the time they are 40, right? I mean, she's only 18 right now, but I was getting her to think in terms of her future wealthy self, right? This is the exercise that I did for myself back in 2018 when I decided that I wanted to reach my first million in net worth. I looked at what was it that this version of me, what were they doing? What were the habits and behaviors? How did they manage their money? I had to align who I was, the person at that time who had a negative 266,000 net worth, trying to align to the person who already had $1 million net worth. And this is one of the shifts that we have to make, right? Now, I had to look into was, how do I affirm that identity, right? So part of it was more so, again, thinking about this version of me. How can I expand my mindset and step into that wealth, right? So for you, I want you to think about your financial life. Like, where do you already see growth? Are there any areas of your finances where you do see growth in leading to that wealthy version that you want for yourself? Are there any areas where you feel like you're still juggling or second guessing yourself? I know for me, one of the things was being this constant cycle of debt. So I had to figure out, well, how do I stop this pattern of getting into debt and paying off debt? I really had to shift my mindset to, okay, if this future version of me is a millionaire, how does she handle debt? What are the steps and things that she's putting into place to ensure that she does not fall further back into debt? And what would it look like for you if you matched your money to the woman you've become in every other area of your life? I can tell you one of the things that I did. 2018, I started my journey. 2019, I started going to therapy, right? I wanted to manage the different parts of my life, making sure that I have that emotional intelligence, making sure that I have self awareness of what I was doing and how I was contributing to my life and where I was. And this is for you because I know you're a woman who you invest in the personal trainers, you invest in a therapist, maybe you've even invested in an executive coach, right? Because you value transformation. But this is the same thing when it comes to your money. If you are already going on the path, if you've been making the 100, 150K plus a year, but you're still not finding that transformation that you want in getting to the next step, whether it's building up your investments or getting out of that cycle of debt or having more freedom and control of your money, these are the things that you want to consider is what are the gaps that are happening right now with your finances and how you can fill it, right? Because I know for you, it's not a value of investing in your growth, but it's also, like I said, about expanding your mindset of how you're going to step into that wealth. So, number one, affirm your identity. Who is this woman who already invests in herself, who already has financial freedom? What does she look like? What does she do on a daily? What are the things that she accepts and don't accept? What are her boundaries? This is a big one. What are the boundaries that she's putting into place to ensure that she continues on the path towards the life that she desires? This is something that I know so many women struggle with, especially those high achieving women. You're working towards that goal, you're hustling, you're doing all the things, but you're also trying to be and do everything for everyone else. I know this. I've been there. And one part of therapy that helped me is learning how to create that balance, right? How to create the balance where I can still take care of the people that I love, but most importantly, taking care of me first. Because what's the saying? You cannot pour from an empty cup. So the most important thing is setting those boundaries in place, affirming that identity of that woman so that you can move in towards that path. The other thing that I want to share with you is when you are thinking about the identity of the person that you're moving towards, right? It's important for you to not only just look at the habits and behaviors and all the things that she would do, but really taking on that energy. One of my frameworks I call the vibe framework, right? Because it is the vibe that you're stepping into. The first thing is you have that vision, right? We look at the internal beliefs and things that are coming up in the way that's preventing you from going towards that vision. Then we set the balance and boundaries in place, right? And then those things allow you to execute towards the goal. But I want you to look at when you see that version of you, how would it feel to move through the week knowing that your money was already working for you? So just sit in that thought. Yes, you're going to work. Yes, you're getting the paycheck. But as soon as that paycheck hits your account, you have that confidence knowing that a portion of that money is actually growing and creating freedom for you. How does that feel to know that version of you has a system in place where it's less mind consuming, right? I always like to say to declutter the mind, declutter the multiple folders that we have open, all the tabs, right? How do you declutter those tabs so that you have more ease as you are working towards your goals? And those are some of the things that you have to work through, right? And when you think about ease, ease may mean something different to you than it does to me, right? When you think about ease when it comes to your money, what does that look like? And when you see this version of you, when you're stepping into that energy, are you leading your money or is it still leading you? Because these are the things that you're going to have to really dive into to understand how you are showing up today. how your habits and behaviors are either moving you closer to the goal or keeping you stuck where you are. And I want to go a little bit deeper too, because when I talk about the transformation too, I always say this when I work with clients, it's not just about, okay, we're going to hit that net worth number and we're going to make sure that we're spending X amount of dollars each month. Like it's yes, that's a part of it, but that's not it in totality. Like I always say, when I say things like I'm working towards my $1 million, net worth goal, or I'm working towards $1 million business, it's less about the numbers and it's more about how it is shaping me to move in the direction of the vision that I have for my life. Yes, the numbers are there, but I'm not focused on that because it's not about that end goal because I'm not so focused on the end goal that I'm just like, oh, I'm almost there. No, I'm looking at the micro moments, the little actions and steps that I'm doing every single day that is moving me towards that goal. One of the things that I did today that I do regularly is I have like a money minute. I just open up my little app. I do a quick scroll, look at all the transactions that posted the previous day, just to make sure that everything goes according to plan. Because part of the challenge is when you don't have that visibility of your finances and that clarity of what's going on, what's happening, your habits and behaviors, how do you spend, how do you save, how you manage with your credit cards, all of those things impact your ability to move towards your financial goals. What are those habits and behaviors you are exhibiting on a day to day? And so I want you to think about when you are moving towards our goal. Again, these questions are meant for you to help you on this process. When you think about feeling in control of your money, what does feeling in control of your money mean to you? Does it mean that you can check your bank account and not feel like that tightness in your chest or that anxiety? Does being in control of money look like you being able to save 20% and invest another 10% regularly as your paycheck hits? Does being in control of your money look like you not racking up your credit card every month and then once you receive the bill, having that anxiousness of like, oh my gosh, how am I going to pay this bill off? Define what that looks like for you. And I want to highlight another client journey of that feeling of once that transformation hit, how it feels. I have a client who, when we first came to me in that constant cycle of debt, every time the beginning of the year would start, she was doing well. The refund hit, the bonus hits, everything was good. But by the end of the year, then she started getting into this mode of anxiousness, afraid of checking her bank account. And then it's more of, oh my gosh, what am I doing? When we started working together, what we realized, number one, was there was no awareness of where her money was going, how she was directing her income. She tried to save, but only ended up dumping back into her account. And the main thing, sorry, I got to put my phone on do not disturb. But the main thing was creating a system that was going to work for her so that she could save and pay off debt at the same time. She was able, through creating that system that worked for her, she was not one that wanted to track every little expense. So we were able to create a system that allowed her to focus on her fixed expenses. She had her savings bucket, and then she had a variable account that she could spend as much as she wanted to within the allowance that she had set for herself. But what that allowed her to do was pay off $18,000 worth of debt and build up her largest savings amount that she'd ever had. And that transformation, it didn't come by just focusing on a number. It came through understanding how she was already showing up with money and then creating a plan around her personality and how money worked for her. You see, the idea is to truly get an understanding of what you're doing, what are your habits and behaviors, and creating a system that's going to allow you to get towards the goal that you want for yourself. So, as you are going through this, I want you to answer the questions that I prompted you during this live. Go back to yourself, write down, journal it out. The most important thing is for you to understand how you're showing up with your money. And if that feels anxious, if you approach it in a way where you're giving yourself grace, right? Don't approach it from the aspect of, oh, okay, I gotta face what I've been doing with my money. It's okay. It's not about judging yourself. The most important thing as you are journaling is really just to understand what's coming up for you. How are you handling money? What are the common habits and behaviors? I actually learned a technique from the conference that I attended where the speaker said she actually carries a journal with her. And she actually writes down when she's going shopping, what are the emotions that come up for her when she's shopping and she's trying to buy something that is not on her list. I thought that was a good idea and actually won a journal. And I was like, I'm going to try that of when I'm shopping, if I have a list of things that I'm going to get, what are the emotions that come up for me? You could even use it in the way of what are the emotions that come up for you while you are checking your bank account. You want to make sure that you're tapping into, is it fear of facing maybe your spending habits, or you knew you went on a spending spree? Is it just that you don't have that confidence with your money because it's just like money's coming in and it's going out as fast as it comes in? Like, really get in touch with what's happening, because once you do, that's going to open up a world of you being able to move with more ease, right? The clarity and awareness is the key for you to progress forward and be more intentional with your money. The goal is for you to step into that wealthy version of you, whatever you decide her to be. And I'm going to be breaking this down a little bit more. I have a framework that I use with my clients of stepping into her energy. Her is an acronym, but it's a way that you can move towards the future version of you, enjoying your life now. Again, this is not about I'm going to sacrifice everything today so that I can build this long awaited future. No, life is too short. We can still enjoy today and build our future. So I invite you to join the waitlist for Clarity to Cashflow, where I'm going to be breaking down my framework, Cashflow Command, on how you can build a system that is going to align with the life that you want to live, as well as by her framework that is going to help you embody the version of the woman who already has what you are looking for. She's not some future version of you that you have to get to. You can embody her now and change the way that you are managing your overall money. As you guys will be watching this on the replay, please feel free to drop any questions in the comments. I wanted to make sure that I get this out to you guys so that you have more clarity in understanding, just answering those questions on how you can show up for your money and move in the direction that you want to be towards. This is all I have for today for you guys, all right? And so next week, we're going to drop into more content around the idea of clarity and stepping into that wealthy version of yourself. And until next time, here's to your financial freedom.